Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
A little early because we're having some internet issues, or I wasn't, but Esther was, so I had to restart the router and everything. I went into a pretty deep brewing session after that, specifically still continuing my obsession with Urza Saga Aethervio Power Conduit. I had a lot of drafts yesterday. I couldn't find one of them. I did have... I guess I can just kind of like briefly go through. Like, I was trying this mono white Stoneforge build with S Champion. This was maybe like the best of the ones I tried. I played a little bit of a humans build with like a bunch of like rangers. I thought this was okay. I was also briefly like pretty obsessed with playing Giralf's Messenger in this pile, where like Power Conduit removed the counter from Giralf's Messenger seemed pretty sick. And then I'm like, okay, we'll play Yawgmoth too. And then every time I was working on that idea, it just ended up being a worse Yawgmoth deck. Was working on a couple of like Urza builds, one with like Thopter Sword, one with Tamashii combo. This one didn't get really finished. I was just thinking about the deck tech this morning, or whatever this is. I had the Goblins Persist combo with like Murderous Redcap, the 2/2 Persist, and Hex Parasite, Murderous Redcap, and then what's the card called? Skirk Prospector. That is pay 2 life, deal 2 damage as many times as you have life points. So that was like a little bit of a find. But I couldn't get that deck. I couldn't get any of these decks like ready for the stream today. I probably spent like 5 hours yesterday working on these decks. I could not get a single one like good enough for today's stream. So I ended up taking a little bit of a break from working on those decks. Maybe we'll circle back to them later. Maybe we never will. But I ended up circling back to this idea, which is something I've been working on like since PT testing era. This is Eldrazi E-tron with no Eldrazi. You might be wondering, why is it called E-tron with no Eldrazi? And because it has like the same idea E-tron has. A colorless Tron deck that has a relatively low mana curve, so you don't mind so much if your Tron mana gets disrupted. If you have Tron mana, great. If you don't, you're still casting spells on curve. Basically just colorless control, which is what E-tron was. And I've been thinking this a lot lately, that like that formula, this like sort of colorless Tron control deck, seems very good, like in the current metagame, seems very good in general, but the Eldrazi all suck. Thought-Knot Seer, Matter Reshaper, Reality Smasher are all bad. I'm not even happy to like cast any of them off Eldrazi Tempo anymore. They just are all so underpowered these days. And I think we barely have enough like cheap colorless stuff to build a deck like this. I would love like one more like really good 3 mana colorless card that you could put in any deck, like a staple power level 3 mana card. But I think we have enough to kind of get this list together, and I'm pretty excited about it. I don't think there's like, there's not too much to pick apart here, other than like I've been working on this list for a while, and getting the numbers right I think took a really long time. One big thing for me was like realizing that I didn't want to play more than 2 copies of Mystic Forge in the main deck in my testing, and then like because we have a Mystic Forge to get off Karn, we have like a good card advantage spell, then we have Ensnaring Bridge in the board as like a protection spell, so I don't think we need the 4th ring in the board for Karn. Powers up the main deck too. I think that dynamic is nice. And then also, when we were testing Tron at the Channel Fireball house, we were like me and Jim were both really impressed with Urza Saga as like a value tutor target for Expedition map. It's obviously like a little bit of a different formula here, but this is a deck where the Karn strokes are going to be pretty real threats, and that was like the first time I kind of had explored playing, in between, 1 and 4 Urza Sagas, and I found that 2 was a really good number, and I think 2 is also a really good number here. That's kind of something that I had been stuck on for a while. We have Gemstone Caverns in the deck. I've been, very interested in playing decks with Gemstone Caverns. Thought about having the 3rd in the board. Ended up feeling I wanted the other sideboard slots elsewhere. Could still want the 3rd in the board, maybe. We have Swamps as Beseiju / Field of Ruin targets. I think 3 is a good number. You could play 2 if you're a little greedy. I think 3 is a bit better. We have Cascading Cataracts for Golos, so you can be spinning 2 Blast Zone. I want to play 22 lands. I think Blast Zone is the best utility land. I could be persuaded to play like 3rd Saga maybe, but I think 2 is a better number for now. Yeah, I guess there's just not that much more to talk about, so let's get into it. Maybe if you have any specific questions. Non-cohesive with the 17, Gabroth with the 14, Cath with the 6 months, KRG with the 41, usually favorable with the 4, Rebel Smash with the 27, Doc with the 26, lots of resubs today. It is September, subscriptions are 25% off. Soundbite. And I think this deck has like enough top end, and this is kind of the same idea with Eldrazi E-tron. Your top end isn't as good as Mono Green Tron, but you still have a ton of top end, and because of that, you're able to win most late games because the top of your curve is better than most decks in the format. So it doesn't need to be as powerful as possible if it is just still better. How does this beat Burn? You have Chalices, but you're probably going to lose to Burn. Burn is a bad matchup for sure, just like with any Tron variant. Your brain is broken. Yeah, I mean, you want to combo off. Yeah, this has definitely been a combo off with Tron cards stream for a while, but it's good to do something new. What is my opponent doing? Temple Garden, Razorverge Thicket, pass. I have no idea. I'm going to play Chalice on one. Does Karn Sylex stop you paying for life Dismember? Oh, it might. I thought it was just abilities, but... Can't pay life to cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Oh, fuck, I didn't realize that. Okay, we'll cut the Sylex, I guess. Hasn't come up yet. It's maybe still fine. You just pop the Sylex if you have Dismember. Swamp Ranger Captain. Cauldron Familiar. So Cauldron Familiar is kind of... Oh, so the Sam combo. Cauldron Familiar kind of funny here. As it is a 1-drop that gets through the Chalice reasonably well. Would 2 Swamp whatever be better? No, the swamps are not there to like cast Dismember. They're there to get off of Besage You and Field of Ruin. Like obviously you choose Swamp because it can cast, because that's the only like basic that has any extra value, being able to cast Dismember. But they're not. It's not a mana fixing card. It's just a way to not get Stone Rained by Besage You. All right, that's fine. Might be correct to dismember the Ranger Captain now. I don't want them to sack on my upkeep. I think I'm going to be happy enough to just tap the Swamp and the Mind Stone for to sack the map. And then I think I can just go. I can either go Karn Coating the Grist, or I can just get Mystic Forge. Just get Mystic Forge and let the Karn die to the Grist minus, hold up the Warping Wail. I think that sounds pretty good to me. Let's take that line. Waste will let you wail through a Blood Moon. But you cannot get waste from Besage You. Besage You is it is very lame, but you cannot do that. Could also get Leveler. I think I'm gonna get the Forge. I think, you know, one way we lose this game is by flooding out, and Mystic Forge probably is the best way to combat that. What version are we trying to playing? This is I've been calling this no Eldrazi E-tron, which is like a little clickbaity, but that is also like what I think this deck is. You know what I mean? Like this is it's the same concept, like low mana curve, lots of early interaction, late game Tron to win. And able to operate through Blood Moon because your curve is so low, but without the awful Eldrazi. Like the Eldrazi are just like truly just unplayable cards. You know what I mean? Yeah, mid-range Tron, maybe more of a control deck, but been working on this one for a while. Can't believe I Mind Stone Sideboard again. I think it's like right to play, but it is very overrated. Like it's maybe not worth it because every time we have it, we were just like met with a score of get it, Spike, get the or sorry, not Mindstone, Brainstone. We got Mindstone and Brainstone. But yeah, I agreed. It's pretty overrated. Can't believe they plus Grist also. That's a big mistake. Would one number main be alright and unnecessary? We just answered this question, but I didn't think we're gonna get this a lot. I'm gonna answer just one more time. You don't want any cards that are only good when you have Tron, because your plan is to not always have Tron. Your plan is to operate even when you don't have it, and when you do have it, that's kind of like your mid to late game, win the game. You like buy time, get Tron, win the game. Is the general Dex game plan. You get to buy Tron with like your 12 cheap interactive spells. Dismember is a nice pickup. We just cast the Mystic Forge before I do anything else. Sort of like vintage shops. Is it? I don't. I have played vintage shops, but that is a truly wild deck. If Matter Shaper didn't have to die, if it was just if you got the Matter Shaper trigger on ETB, it would be like pretty busted. I think a lot of people sometimes don't realize that, tweaking cards in a very small way like that it's so dangerous, you know. Interesting. It's the power level difference by just changing like very small things about cards is usually pretty drastic. It is not very easy to just like, in a very small way, play with the numbers on cards. Maybe I should just like gone Sundering Titan or something this turn. I think we'll be fine. I'll just plus on the food. Keep Dismember up. I don't think we can get comboed with Dismember up here. I said, in this day and age, the gap between unplayable and broken is non-existent in Magic. The gap between unplayable and broken is non-existent. I mean, that's how chatters act. Spike, is this deck a meme or is this deck broken? But like, you know, it's for me, like almost everything is in the nebula between, and maybe a lot of things are unplayable. It feels like very little is broken. Most of the times we're just trying out ideas that I think have applications, and like we kind of expand upon our ideas as we go. But yeah, like you just like really can't like. You can't give a card like Matter Shaper is honestly probably the best of between Matter Shaper, Thought Not Seer, and Reality Smasher. I might be the happiest to register Matter Shaper at the moment. That card is like never truly terrible. If it ETB'd and you got the thing, it would be like I'd be playing it in this deck for sure. Was Palantir consideration? I did consider Palantir. It is not a card I've cast yet. I've seen some players have it in play at Modern, and it looks awful. It just looks so bad to me every single time I've seen it cast at Modern. I'm certainly willing to believe that I've developed a degree of bias. So I just remember this now before they get a food. They don't have the Cauldron Familiar in the graveyard yet. If they did, we would still be able to dismember. I guess, hold on, so if they have another Sam in their hand, I know they have a Cauldron Familiar in their hand. If they have another Sam, they need to have a land no matter what, and there doesn't seem to be any way for me to play around it, so I'm just gonna dismember, I guess. And then, do I want to sack the Mind Stone? Probably not. Wouldn't you want large Eldrazi creature playing Palantir? I don't fucking know. Like, does that sound good? Like, have this, like, okay, now we're gonna have a 3-mana, do nothing, or like 3-mana, like, scry 2. You like, basically never draw the first turn. You never draw the first turn, and then you draw every turn after that with Palantir. It's like Phyrexian Arena, kind of. I know Phyrexian Arena wouldn't be very good. And like, okay, now we also have to add like 10 drops to our deck to make this already bad 3-drop good. It just, I don't know. Y'all can play Palantir. I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. No, they have Cord. Don't think there is a way for me to beat the Chord here. I mean, besides like just like not casting all the stuff with the. Besides not casting all the stuff with the Mystic Forge, I should have just like Stone Brained them or Sundering Titan them or something. Couldn't resist the value. Now we get Sam comboed. Should have gotten Relic. Well, I have Chalice on one in play, so I couldn't have gotten Relic. Relic is also like not amazing against them in general. Like they just need like one extra food to get through it. Sylex seems. I guess they can't pay life. We're probably not going to sideboard too much. How do they kill me from there? Sam, Cauldron Familiar, and a Sack Outlet is Infinite Drain. I'll bring in the Needle. How do we actually stop this? Well, I mean, I stopped it with Dismember, then they just had a second Sam. Maybe killing Seer was the play? I mean, that would have also lost to the Chord of Calling, right? Okay, I like this hand. They usually only play one. I think that's not true. I think like the earliest drafts only played one, but I think like Sam Party's build was playing more. I'd be very surprised if they only had one. You've seen the Blue-Black Cabal deck? I've seen some builds. I'm not sure if I've seen the latest build or anything. I think I'll Dismember the Goose. Usually one Seer, one Woe, one Yaw. Really? Wow. I guess I'm just used to Sam's build. Falls into the gives your opponent the choice category and excites bad new 3-drop category. Yeah, I will say this, like in franchise Magic players, like any card like Palantir that like gives your opponent a choice, Magic players are like, oh, this card, it has to be awful. It gives your opponent a choice. I don't think that that's really true. I think there's not really too many exceptions to the rule or anything, but I think players are like way too just like immediately going to give your opponent or just dismiss cards and give your opponents a choice. There is a recent example. I'm kind of drawing a blank, but there is a recent example I think of this concept that I can't really recall. I guess we need to keep the Dismember up. They turn the yard, they could combo next turn. Well, we could stop them from comboing next turn, I think. How's the matchup against Green-tron? Yeah, I would say bad. It's always been pretty bad for the E-tron variants, right? Sauron's Ransom is the recent example. That's right. Sauron's Ransom gives your opponent a choice, but it's still a pretty good card. Palantir way better in aggressive decks. 3-mana card draw spells are not good in aggressive decks. Some kind of 8-blast deck with Calibrate and Palantir. This has been suggested so many times. Spike, what about a Palantir Witch's Cottage Calibrated Blast deck? And like every time this is suggested, I'm just like flabbergasted. Like y'all know that your opponent will watch you. They'll watch you Witch's Cottage, your thing to the top, and then they'll just let you draw a card. Your big payoff to your combo is literally just, okay, you draw a card. It just doesn't do anything. Chalice on 2. Well, we know that they have a Viserys here in their hand, so I think we're supposed to Chalice on 1. I hope y'all are right about them only having one mana Sack Outlet. Force of Vigor, kill my bridge, kill my Chalice. Is it better to play Chalice on 2? I don't think so. I just said this, whatever. There's chat delays. So, don't know that I can not hold up Dismember, although they can stop Dismember by sacking Ranger Captain. It's going to be so hard for me to stop them from comboing if they do have the combo. I think I'm going to have to sack out Mind Stone. Warping Wail. So I could Dismember the Ranger Captain on my turn, and then Warping Wail Viserys here. I guess, dude. Obviously, punting game 1. Feels a bit bad when we're still on the back foot. I think people are confused the way the trigger works. Once they decide to make you mill, you cannot respond with the Kaj effect. Yeah, that's maybe the case that people are confused. That would make sense. Oh, was I supposed to wail in response to the halfling being cast? Okay, well now they can't cast. Now they can't chord for Sam. So I can wail the Viserys here. Life total is getting pretty low. Oh, they're F6. A little bit of value. So we can get Tron online. We can't, also have Cataracts available, but with the Mind Stones and the Saga, we'll have plenty to do with our mana next turn, probably. Exile Cat in response to this here. The thing is, they just have more cats than they have sack outlets usually. But maybe exiling Cat was nice. Golos, get your missing Tron pieces fun. They have 3 cards in their hand. We don't know any of them anymore. We're gonna die to Cat though? Maybe. I thought about playing the 5 mana artifact that says whenever you tap a thing for a colorless, add an extra colorless or double it or something, and whenever you cast a colorless spell, gain 2 life. I thought about playing that as a Karn target. Yeah, they're F6, so they didn't scry off this year. So they have Haywire Might to kill my Saga, probably. Yeah, Forsaken Monument. I think you can play that or Wurmcoil. You probably can't play both. Yeah, they can't kill. They're maybe trying to kill my Golos. Although if they were trying to kill Golos, they wouldn't have tapped the halfling. So yeah, so they are exiling the Saga. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Hopefully they're not great. But then they can Lorien my Golos. Put me to 4. I think Palantir might get played if Ring goes. Maybe. Again, like, I haven't casted it Modern yet. I've seen some people cast it. It's looked awful. But I have seen it in Limited. It looks pretty good in Limited. My highest praise I can give, I guess. Okay. Can work with this. Am I supposed to Chalice on 2? Can I Chalice on 2 in Mind Stone? I can. Probably want a Mind Stone first. Dismember's dead now. That's true. Drawing Dismember would be a problem because they could attack with their 1-power creatures. We do have some swamps in the deck, but... That's true. Lorien can also let their 1-power creatures attack if they see the line. Okay, so the middle of Coco. They tapped their halfling again, which they could have gotten in with this turn. Lorien plus Spellmaster. Yeah, we had that in one black-white deck. Lorien's in the sideboard, but we also had Children, which was kind of fun. Okay. Draw Ring. Let's see, so I have 10 mana, If I sack the Mind Stone and I draw exactly another Golos, I can't play the other Golos. But the problem is like them just being able to minus on my Grist. Or minus the Grist, kill this. Like they technically have lethal in play, right? So I think we're supposed to try to find something. Did I get Blast Zone? I guess I go to 1, not 0. And Blast Zone buys me another turn. They also may want to tick the Grist up for ultimate purposes. Let's see. I'll deck win. We have 1 Celestial Colonnade in the deck. Okay, sit down. Their best shot is Grist Ult. I think it is. I think they probably think their best shot is Grist Ultimate. Their real best shot is them just tapping Lauren to like let their 1-power creatures attack. And like killing my Golos, I think. Like they get to put me to 1 here. They could also just draw Court of Calling and find Sam, or Coco find Sam. They draw Ranger Captain. Lichin with the 24 months. Thank you. Happy 2 years. Dead to draw Lori, attack for 3, sack food, make it. Oh yeah, you're right. Thankfully they missed it. Although they have now. They missed it last turn. They found it this turn. And then they also got a Cauldron Familiar. Okay, yeah. So we are dead. Feels bad. Obviously, punting game 1 pretty bad. We'll move on. Maybe play like 4 Forged Tenders or something at the board. Okay, well we have Tron. Almost. Oh, this hand actually has Tron. Okay, keep this. Oh, whoops. Sorry. They meant Forsaken Monument? Well, how am I supposed to know they meant Forsaken Monument? The type Crumbling Sanctuary, which is not in any way similar. Okay, so they suspend Crashing Footfalls. See if this Chalice resolves. Look, Decklist is essentially artifact beatdown through Karn to win. Yeah, Karn is a win condition. Urza Saga is a win condition. You're a control deck. This is a control deck. Don't sweat the win conditions so much. Sylex good. Chalice good. Warping Wail good. Dismember's okay. Probably would like to go down to like at least 3, maybe 2. Still figuring out some cyber plans. I think you can bring in the Mystic Forge in basically any matchup if you need slots. I think we can bring in the O-Stone also. Seems fine. Let's do this. Is Rhino's off Borrower? Thankfully, yeah. For the most part. I mean, they have other answers to Chalice. I think they just like tilt conceding a little bit. Okay, we'll keep this. We pretty far away from Tron. It's actually kind of scary if we get like double Besaged or something because we have 2 of our swamps in our hand. We've got a Chalice. We have a Warping Wail. Can't really mulligan this. Stonebrain in the main deck. I think boarding in the Stonebrain and especially in matchups like this is almost always a mistake. It is like it's kind of the same like kind of play as like the humans players who board out Aether Vial against John Spike. Just board out your Aether Vial. Oh, okay. So they played Beseiju and I drew 3rd Swamp for turn. Only on twitch.tv/aspiring Spike would this happen. Yeah, but it's just the same energy as Spike. You just board your Aether Vials out against Jonda's humans. Just board your best card out, and like your deck is like all slow and plays all at sorcery speed. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that like a lot of people do, I think, and I think it's just wrong. I think it's something a lot of people do, and I think it's wrong, and I encourage you to not. What do you think of a combo humans Yawgmoth deck with Sophy Rallier, Yawgmoth Cutthroat, and Pyre of Heroes able to find your combo? I feel like I've played like exactly that, or something very close to it. I don't know. It's those are the kind of builds that certainly. Wow, they're just 3-mana 2-2ing. Those kind of builds are like okay. Should I Wail here or should I just Sylex? Sylex seems good enough here that I'm gonna save the Wail. Ooh, we can no life Dismember through the Sylex. That's funny. A very complicated question, and like the big problem with like this idea too is like it's mostly just going to be worse than traditional Yawgmoth combo. It's just there's not a lot about your idea that is going to give you advantages over like just playing a traditional Yawgmoth deck, if that makes sense. Man. And they played this Visage turn 1. Play Merfolk Familiar Wares, shaving 1 vial, ends up feeling right. You can't afford to cut your best card, like Spike says. Yeah, you can maybe shaving 1 copy is correct, but even then, I think it's probably just like sometimes like you have a bad matchup like this, you know, like Merfolk against Jund, humans against Jund, and you just like do something. You know what I mean? You just like I'll just shave a vial and this will help. It just doesn't help very much, and you really, really want vial in your opening hand, and like the best ways to win are to like pressure your opponent a lot. It just sometimes it's just very easy to defeat yourself feeling like you have to do something. I don't know if I'm articulating that idea very well. I think I'll just play another ring here. Chillin'. Third. This is the best Chalice on 0 I have ever played against Rhinos. I've just never seen a Rhinos player who's like, all right, my deck is just 3-mana 2/2s. We'll see what happens. They're just so ready to give up here. Oh, so can I undo? I want to have my Warping Wail up. So we'll be able to kill the Magus with the Dismember, probably have infinite mana next turn. Am I still having fun playing with it against the ring, or is it starting to be a bit much? This is like my first ring deck this week, I think. I don't think I've played. I think it's my first time playing with the ring, and I actually don't even play against it very often on Magic Online. It is, I think one dynamic is that this is like pretty common where, like the best ring deck or one of the best ring decks I should maybe say is 4-color Omnath. People do not like to play that deck in leagues typically if they don't have a tournament they're prepping for. The metagame is like also just kind of all over the place in the leagues. Yeah, I haven't been playing against it very much. I'm gonna Chalice in 1. They could be on living end, but we'll just try to beat him game 2 and 3. You played it in Jund yesterday? Oh right, sorry, I did play it in Jund yesterday. It's Dredge. Dredge is probably an okay matchup. No, I'm not going to pre-release tonight. I don't know. It's just kind of tough for me to be like, all right, I've played Magic all week. I had like a 5-hour brewing session last night. Now, going to pre-release on Friday. Is the Black Control deck not popular? It's not super popular. I guess it's probably the more popular than the other ones. Alright, it seems unlikely we could win this game. I mean, this is just Dredge. You just win the game once. We have 4 relics post board. The bridges are good. We have reasonable plan. Get to board out the Dismembers. They at least can't Dark Blast. I guess it's a bit too toughness anyways. We'll play it out though. We'll play it out. I think any of the virtues would be playable outside of Standard Commander. I don't know. I don't know what the virtues are. I don't know what that is. Yeah, we have to draw like Ring next turn, and then have like a pretty ridiculous series of draws. Doing the Grixis Waffle deck. I like Waffle's deck. Virtues, virtues, virtues. The enchantments with adventure. Oh, yeah. I did a YouTube video talking about all the cards I thought might be playable from the set. You know, you can watch there. I can't remember if any of them made the list. I think the blue one did. Okay, ring. Okay, no ring. Kind of Prison-tron. Not exactly Prison-tron, mate, but kind of. Maybe close enough. I wonder how good Chalice is. Probably want like 2 Chalices. Stops Nature Claim. Stops the Otherworldly Gaze. I don't hate boarding in the 4th bridge. I don't hate boarding in. Maybe I need the 4th bridge to get off Karn. Board in Wurmcoil. Boarded Wurmcoil. Could be a board and Stonebrain matchup actually, as much as I make fun of it. But you're mostly like Stonebraining Ox. It's not very good. Is it better than anything else? Like, the thing is, like, I'm never wishing for it with Karn. How upset would I be to draw it? Probably relatively upset, to be honest. Yeah, I'll just play 3rd Chalice. So they can't activate Painland. They can activate it. You don't pay life with City of Brass. I think maybe it would stop Mana Confluence. Okay, we got a Relic, so we got to keep. Bridge is good too. 2/3 of a way to Tron. Put us on the mold of 6. What does viable mean when it comes to Magic decks? I mean, it kind of means a few different things to different players, but usually when we're talking about it on this stream, we mean competitively viable. Something you can play competitively. Yeah, the Brewers Pass starts Wednesday. Should start Wednesday. Gross. Bridge should still be really good, though. I guess if they have like another answer for the map, that's okay. They don't have a 2-mana looter. It's kind of interesting. So I'm just gonna go grab my tower, play tower, hold up Warping Wail for a looter. Maybe they have Otherworldly Gaze here. They kept this on 6. They just kept nothing. Wow. Okay, we'll take that. I'll accept nothing. I take 3. Just being able to counter like any of the looters as soon as they draw them is pretty nice. Like a portable hole? I guess they did. Not today, Creeping Chill. I'll counter it. It's just kind of a funny thing to do, maybe. I've always wanted to counter a Creeping Chill. Is Creeping Chill still my most hated card? No, my hatred for Creeping Chill has waned over the years. For a while it was Omnath, but it was really Omnath plus Yorion. Omnath plus Yorion with Omnath. Omnath with Yorion was so ridiculous because you just always had the perfect thing to get with the Omnath mana. It was just so crazy. Now I'm not really sure what my most hated card would be. And everyone in chat will just say the card they hate the most now. I just hold up the whale. Recently it's been Grief. Oh. Yeah, recently I think it's been Grief. Ooh. I think we're still spinning. Maybe don't show them the Wurmcoil, not that I can really imagine that they get to do a lot with this information. Maybe I'll just play the Wurmcoil now, then they... Even Ensnaring Bridge doesn't do anything. So it's worth the 15. Didn't want to make the 1/1 to cast Ring. I think Excellent and Alchemy was more relevant. Like, I don't know. I mostly just can't lose this game. I think one way to lose this game is to like take a bunch of damage off the ring and then they burn me out. I think I'm like basically never losing to like a traditional like Dredge draw at this point. Like even through a bunch of disenchants, but maybe if I play Ring and Flood out, I lose. So it's just not. Let's not just do the only. Take the only line that I could possibly lose with if I just can keep activating Golos every turn and never ever lose. Opponent is Trooper, huh? Maybe I'll play it now. So I have nothing else, and I also get to attack with my Wurmcoil. Okay, can't quite play the Karn, can't play the Relic. Mr. Bingo, 22 months, thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I would love to be able to activate Golos in Commander. How do I feel about Beseech the Mirror and Coffers? I think it's not going to be optimal in Coffers. I think that you can build around Beseech the Mirror. We're going to try. I think that in Coffers specifically, it's not going to be a card you want to play. One, you already have a million 4-drops in that deck. Like you have like I don't even think you should be playing Karn and Coffers, but most people already play Shielded Karn, Coffers, Damnation, and so now we're gonna play another 4-drop to cast our other 4-drops. How like I guess you cut some of the 4-drops. What numbers? I have no idea. There's a lot of like Copium too that's just like, oh, I'm just gonna sack. I'm just gonna sack an Orc army. It'll be fine. I'm just gonna sack the Orc army I always have. Like if you just like don't have an Orc army in play, like Beseech is going to be like you're going to be 2-for-1ing yourself pretty often. You're going to be 2-for-1ing yourself pretty often. Like sacking your a Talisman or a Relic is just like not that exciting to me. Playing cards like Chromatic Star in my deck is also not that exciting to me. So overall, I'm just not that excited about Beseech and Coffers. I think it's a card that's like very hyped. It's a card that I think people are really looking at like the upside and just kind of like glossing over the fact that you're like always 2-for-1ing yourself to play a 4-drop for 4 mana. It ain't that exciting. What's an exile? So I think I'm maybe just getting Ballista no matter what this turn. Did you consider boarding a Relic same as your Beseech needing to reduce a lot of Karn targets? Yeah, you're gonna board in the Relics a lot. Beseech and Urza Thopter Sword sounds like incredibly difficult on the mana. Like I have no idea how a mana is supporting Beseech like and Urza Saga. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine, but you also like oftentimes in Thopter Sword want to splash red or white for Stoneforge or Goblin Engineer, which you probably can't do at that point. I don't know. I'll also say like the card Urza itself for 4 mana has not really felt very good for a long time. But now we have a black Urza that you also have to sacrifice something first, so that doesn't sound that exciting either. think people are hyping the card because they want a modern playable card from a pretty tame release. Maybe. I think that there's a lot of good cards in the new set, though. There was a lot more than I initially expected there to be, I think, from my first evaluation. I did a whole... You could type exclamation point WOE and get my my thoughts on the set, the cards I like, but I do think there's more than meets the eye. Pretty cool hand. And Besiege was in my top 5 or 6 cards. I think it has a lot of interesting build around. Like the place I want to try Besiege is in like a mono black Asmo deck where you can sacrifice your food tokens, and like maybe some artifact lands too. Like this is like a shell that I'm a little bit more interested in. I'm not like convinced it's going to be amazing, but that's kind of like the first place I want to try it. And like maybe in a reanimator like Asmo Gorios, Asmo Reanimator, where you can like sometimes get persist. It has to be persist, not Gorios, I guess, but I think that like the card Besiege it's so exciting. It's a really, really exciting card. The text on it is really cool. 4 mana, cast a 4-drop, right? That's cool. It's cool text. But people are just so willing to just gloss over the fact that it has huge downsides. Okay, so pretty good mull to 4 from my opponent. 2 mana, 8 power. Let's play Bridge. Yesterday, we were talking about trying in Yawgmoth. Yeah, we were also talking about trying it in Yawgmoth. The problem is like you can't just sacrifice creatures. You have to sacrifice tokens. You have to get like your artifacts or tokens. So you have to get a little bit creative with it. But I would expect that you could figure something out, or I want to try to figure something out maybe. Playing Chalice on 1 this turn seems kind of nice. Just stopping them from Nature's Claiming the Bridge. Just take a quick peek. Why not map them Bridge? Could I? I don't think I had enough mana to map them Bridge. I haven't missed a land drop, so I'm pretty confident I didn't, but whatever. Where Nature's Claim, you like I guess Tear does this. Tear kills this. We did see Where's Tear last game. We didn't see Nature's Claim. Yeah, so maybe I'm supposed to wait in Chalice on 2. Could Logic not be played? Yeah. I missed the interaction of Logic not plus up the Beanstalk, but I saw Honorog tweet about it and it seems reasonable. Just Fog for a turn? I think I like Karn +1. Like maybe get Ballista next turn. This is kind of a bad spot to be in though, because now they've hit me with enough Narcomoebas. It's kind of unlucky that they had so many Narcomoebas in the top, like, 15 cards of their library. But we're now pretty well in Creeping Chill range. Although, those are the 4th Narcomoeba. Oh no, and I've drawn all 4 drops. It's actually pretty bad. Okay, so let's take the sideboard. 5 mana. Yeah, I could Chalice on 2, but then they can attack. Stone Branded Chills, I guess. But yeah, I need to be keeping my hands empty, which is kind of tough. Ballista on 2. The problem with Ballista on 2 is they get to attack with their amalgams. Happy Woe is not modern art at all. Yeah, if you'll watch my video, there's actually, I think, a lot that's like very... Like, I don't think there's anything that's super busted or anything, but I think there's a lot that's interesting and exciting. Okay, Yeah, I keep forgetting about Chalice. Or maybe they're trying to feed for Ox. Not sure. It's been a difficult game. Okay, never mind. Easy game now. Game easy, actually. Okay, let's think. Do I want to play Golos this turn, or do I want to get empty-handed? Let's get empty-handed. No, I haven't finished my Dark Souls no-hit run. I want to get back to it at some point this year. This year's been just so incredibly busy. Conflagrate for 0, which they cannot cast this turn. My Kingdom for a... Ooh. Is this a May? Do I want to not get a Cascading Cataracts off Golos so I can counter the Warping Wail? It seems kind of nice this way. Yeah, I think that's probably correct. Kind of weird though. Any thoughts on the Scribe Tablet? I've played Tablet. Tablet has been very hit or miss for me, and I think for now I'm pretty happy just missing it. Crackstone. I don't want to risk getting hit by these Dark Amoebas. In fact, we draw the Warping. Oh, you want to draw the Warp? Yeah, we just draw the attack first, and then we just are in a nightmare situation for no reason. I think we can afford to be very patient this game. I think some players may have been able to read this line. I think it would be very difficult to read that I have Warping Wail on top. Just like, it would be so easy to not realize. Second Bridge is awesome. Another Golos is awesome. Warping Wail on top. I think we will get the Cataracts this time. Clear that from the top. Pass back. One Eldrazi E-tron. Why do you call it E-tron? Isn't it just Prison-tron? I guess you could call this Prison-tron. I think that this list is different enough from the other Prison-tron lists that I'm not really thinking of it that way. It's like somewhat semantic-y, but for me, like I am thinking of this as EldraziLESS E-tron. This is the same concept. Like just play all the best colorless cards with Tron backup and have like a bunch of early game interaction, and then have a good late game. That it, like have a good like mono green Tron is all late game. It's all top end, right? Just only care about the top end. This deck can function without Tron until you find it later. It's the same concept, but the Eldrazi are just suboptimal. The Eldrazi are just not good, and so we're playing the better cards. Is the way I'm thinking about it. But you know, you can get very nitpicky with deck names. Okay, don't want to play the tower. Obviously, this countering this is a little awkward. It's fine. We'll just clear them from the top. Short 30 months. Starting to think these lands that make multiple mana might be strong. Yeah, me too. Seems like Greetron has been pivoting towards a Karn board plan. Is that more accurate or just a fluke? Yeah, I don't. I think some people have this attitude like, wait, is Greentron actually going to play Karn the Great Creator, or is this just a fad? I think Jim Davis has really been someone that's kind of permeated this thought that like maybe Mono Greentron shouldn't play Karn the Great Creator. Mono Greentron should definitely play for Karn the Great Creator. The card is so important and so good. Jim is like Jim has I think a little bit of boomer brain when it comes to Karn the Great Creator, and and for some reason is just very very resistant to playing it. Yeah, I don't mind just getting. Or did I already get ring protection this turn? I did already get ring protection this turn, so make a Saga token. Yeah, I think Jim just kind of has boomer brain about it a little bit. It's also just been like Karn the Great Creator has been like stock 4 of and Mono Green Tron for like 4 years now. For like literally 4 years. I know you said you haven't been keeping up with the meta, but it is pretty stock. All right, if my opponent hits all 4 Creeping Chills here, wait, they just draw 3? How do we win? We'll figure it out. Ballista is probably gonna be the win condition here. I am currently not very worried about it. And they just draw 3 again. But now I can get Relic off the Saga, so we are no longer weak to Creeping Chill. Is Bowmaster too crazy in this list? Bowmaster would be... yes, you are lost in the sauce. Completely lost, my friend, thinking about playing Orcish Bowmasters here. It is not castable. You have 3 black sources in the deck. End of list of black sources. Doesn't fit with the deck's game plan at all. I guess you have the Gemstone Caverns, huh? We'll find a Karn the Great Creator eventually. I'm not too worried about it. Can you map for Swamp? Oh, for Bowmaster? Cataracts? Oh my gosh. 4 mana Creeping Chill? Oh, I guess that's how we lose. 4 mana Creeping Chills, huh? We need a Spatial Contortion. Wait, why didn't I take the damage? Oh, I had protection from the ring! I had protection from the ring! Opponent also didn't realize. So now we should be pretty insulated. Not that we weren't already. Okay, finally found a Karn. So I think we're gonna Ballista. Maybe I'm gonna Sundering Titan first. Sundering Titan, Stone Brain for Wear Tear could be fine. Sundering Titan is the coolest. Can maybe tick up the Blast Zone to 3, kill my own bridges if I feel like getting fancy. Oh, forgot to tap my Swamp. That's okay. Chalice on 2 now. Seems probably unnecessary. Let's just pass. Oh yeah, 3 also kills all their creatures. Yeah, I guess Chalice and Explosives or Blast on 3 is probably a good way to clean this up. We could pitch Grief to Attracts, then pull on 1, turn 2 Goros, Mox Ember, Ephemerate, then we can cut the Mendings. I mean, that sequence sounds awesome. We've talked about a pull from Eternity Attracts a little bit. That sequence sounds awesome. Pitch Attracts to the Grief turn 1, Ephemerate it, why not? Then next turn, Goros Attracts Mox Amber. That I agree that if you get to do that, you'll win. Seems a little inconsistent, to say the least. Plus on the ring. Block here, block here. Oh, block here, block here. Let's just Ballista. Yeah, but I agree if you get to do that, you'll win, but it seems incredibly inconsistent. And like much less consistent. Every time I'm on the draw with a Gemstone Caverns deck, I'm always so excited. I do think you keep hands like this. Maybe more borderline on the draw. Would prefer to be able to play. We'll see what happens. Okay, do not mind getting Thoughtseized. So they have 5 cards. Is it? So Grief, Atraxa, 2 lands, Gorios, Pull from Eternity. It's 6 cards. Yeah, you could even take a mulligan. But then you also have to find Member off the Atraxa. I'm on board with the thought that if you do that, it's good. I'm on board with the idea that if that happens, it's sick. I agree. Probably have a pretty good Jund matchup if I had to guess. Go second Mind Stone. Make a construct. Think we can get Tron online too. Things are looking good. Phoenix, 16 months. Yeah, oops, no Eldrazi. Godless Shrine? So there's Shadow deck. I take the bridge. They play... Oh, are they Calibrated Blast? I think they might be Calibrated Blast. So let's not get into Blast for 15 range, I guess. Deck tech command still lists 15 deck text option. Yeah, maybe we can get a mod to edit that. Yeah, paid deck text currently off. Which is Cottage Blast? Yeah. It's a deck we worked on. I don't think I ever played Ren. I did play Kabu a couple times, but their mana base is all swamps and like you want Domain if you play Scion. Okay, not Calibrated Blast. They're at 5 live. I hope you have Death Shadow. For your sake. Our deck techs currently off. We have the channel points deck techs are on, but the paid deck techs are indefinitely off. I think with that draw, I'm not going to make a construct. Oops. Gotta play the tower first. How greedy is it to get Sundering Titan? A little. Kind of seems okay. We're gonna take 7 up to 8 down to 6. I really want to. I really want to get it. Can also Chalice on 1 to stop them from bolting. Let's get it. Ballista? I can't Ballista on 5, right? Oh, I can Ballista on 5. Yeah. Yeah, we had exactly enough for Ballista on 5 next turn. This is good content, though. They have Ren 6, probably not the best. I mean, it's going to kill all of their lands. I'm okay, maybe. They're also ignoring the Karn, so maybe I can still get Ballista. Could Leveler the Binding. Yeah, could. I think going for a bridge is like kind of bad against like another Binding. Is maybe the problem. But they just have double bolts. Bummer. Bummer. Okay, I wonder how our matchup is overall. Feels bad that we couldn't capitalize on their like turn 2 Ren and 6 start either. Just run it back. Is Domain Zoo with Ren and Bowmaster? Maybe. No Frog to shut down Ren. Not in my Chalice deck. It's just kind of narrow. This is the kind of deck where I think you just don't care about Ren that much. Oh, to be on the draw. I think you keep hands like this, but if I didn't have the Mind Stone, I'd mulligan. I like that we can kill a Ren in 6 on turn 2. Bridge looks good against them, despite them having answers to it. Turn 3 Ring. Second Cavern's not ideal. Obviously, Ring and Bridge do have some tensions, but I think sometimes you're just a Bridge game, sometimes you're playing a Ring game, it's kind of fine. Okay, turn 2 Scion, we'll play a turn 3 Ring, I think. Karn Sylex does not seem very good at killing Scion. Maybe we could play... Maybe we could play Bridge this turn, or Sylex this turn. We could play Sylex this turn, turn off their fetches completely, and then try to be an Ensnaring Bridge gamer, and if that doesn't work, then we play the Ring. Turning off their fetches seems pretty good. I'm gonna play the Ring. You don't like Cookbook in these sort of bridge decks? Not in this build, in like more traditional Prism builds, maybe. I think it's a fine outcome. Did we play the Sylex before the bridge here? If they have another binding for the Sylex, it's fine. I may, I guess I'm not very likely to like Sylex on 6 with any speed here, but I could take 4. Okay. Let's draw a card. So I guess we go map. Chalice on 1, hold up Warping Wail, map crack, or Mindstone crack. Cloister, yeah, maybe a Cloister as a Karn target could be fine. So we're down to 12. Draw a card. Another whale. Guess we're pretty dead. Well-timed Thoughtseize. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are really enamored with the food deck in general. It's one that I really have not like ever seen the appeal of a ton. I guess we have bolts covered with the bridge, with the Chalice, and we can like we have a few more looks at a bridge. Yeah, maybe we're not super dead. Even get around stub because of the Chalice. They are Calibrated Blast after all. Which I am incredibly shocked. I think this is going to be mulligan. Down to 5. Want to challenge with foodies? I don't think so. Maybe I have top 8 one. To take a deck to a major tournament. What would I take? I don't know. I've been doing pretty well with red-green food off stream. It's been kind of tentatively the backup deck all week, but I haven't like been very excited to play it because it hasn't been. There haven't really been any updates to it, you know. Not that you always need updates. Yeah, turn 3 Golos plus Chalice seems great. We could maybe be mulliganing a little bit more aggressively with the stack. I think most of the keeps are fine. Yeah, I think against Hammer, you just Chalice on 1. Alright, no real reason to crack the map yet. I think we'll just play the tower. If they have a pure Steel Paladin, things could get a little messy here. Do you think we just have to always get mine? Can't really get super greedy and get Blasta. I mean, I don't even think that's greed, just misplay, actually. Dismember makes me feel a bit more comfy, too. You're first or second, one of the first challenges, Gen Food. Yeah, that sounds like it maybe happened. I actually don't have really any memory of it. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever played Jund Food, though. I think I've played like a bunch of green-red food at the beginning of this year. I don't really recall like ever playing a good Jund food deck. Yeah, so I think they're probably going to get Hammer, cast Paladin, Dismember Construct in response, and they can't equip unless they have another artifact, which won't be the easiest for them to have through the Chalice. Or are they looking for the Pally? Guess Asmo's black? Oh yeah, so technically Jund. The best kind. Okay, don't think we're going to sideboard too drastically this matchup. It is nice to win game 1. This would be the kind of matchup where like Chalice on 1 on like turn 1 on the draw is important enough Caverns, so this would be a good case for the 3rd Caverns on the board. I think we just run it back. Yeah, people are conceding so fast. I mean, I guess that Dredge player, I guess except the Dredge player, but yeah, people are packing it in. I wonder what that calibrated blast list looked like. I wanted to play some blast with Preordain and like the Sauron's Ransom, but I'm kind of like getting over my Preordain in every deck phase. Preordain's good though. It's a good addition to the format. I kind of wish that they had unbanned something else juicy though. Or banned Grief. How's Bridge and Ring? I think it's fine. My general... Oh, we have turn 1 Chalice. My general thought with it is that you're just going to have games where you're a Bridge deck and games where you're a Ring deck, and like if you have Bridge, you're just not tapping your Ring that often if you need the Bridge, and if you don't have Bridge or don't need it, then you tap the Ring. Hey Spider, how's it going? If I don't play Modern, I want to win. Am I silly to not play Scam? Well, if you don't play Modern, it seems hard to win in general. You usually have to play to win. Immediately draw the map. It's okay. Now, do I play the map because of Bridge? I kind of think this will be more of a Ring game. I'll play it, though. Yeah, usually you have to play to win. I don't know. I think that there's a few fine decks in the format. Scam is like, honestly, like if you just like want to pick up a Modern deck and start winning, like there isn't a better choice than Scam. The deck is like once you learn the general sequencing, which isn't the most complicated, it is. I think it's a relatively easy deck to pick up and win with. No deck is like perfectly easy, but I don't think most players will struggle with it a ton. Oh, am I silly to not play Scam? Sorry, I misread your comment a little bit, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't say that you're silly to not play it, but I was silly to not play my Bridge this turn. You mean Rakdos Evoke? The Rakdos Evoke discourse is so boring. So boring. Oh, they're gonna Needle Ring instead of hammering the construct. So boring. Who cares? Okay. Oh, sorry. I totally lost my train of thought talking about the Scam song. I have protection from everything. That's why I did it how I did it. I had thought the turnout and then started talking about boring stuff and then immediately forget why I sequenced things the way I did. This is gonna be maybe the best Sylex I've ever cast too. It's gonna be just pop, blow up their entire board for 1 mana. I guess I also kill my Chalice. Probably okay. What do I play tomorrow if you have Pro Tour Modern? If I have Pro Tour tomorrow, that's kind of like a waking nightmare, right? The idea of, oh no, there's a Pro Tour tomorrow and I haven't prepared. You just prepare very differently for like a Pro Tour versus any regular tournament. Although I guess it wasn't that long ago I was doing real PT testing. If I just had to pick a deck tomorrow to play, I would probably play Scales. Scales are green-red food. Scales is...